Out for Mr. Siama of Bank of Ghana, finally Wababontin, Ababe clarify issues concerning a year gold board. In Ebekaya, na information being in Amabonte, almost say IMF say gold board aboka $214 million. Now same way eba beye de wo internet so to the extent say kojo pon kroma eba beye presser ekeka nsem pii eka se sami jemfi ediska. In fact, and some of boss ni easy. Finally, nipa na ye expect so eba abonte aba bekasa the governor of Bank of Ghana. Finally, Mr. Siama Ababontin Official Public Account Committee and I know mudi nkomo concerning the gold loss almost ayira gold board. Sami Jemfi kasa no making it very clear say the losses is not within the gold board. Nemum no loss no within Bank of Ghana. Now no side no and Bank of Ghana governor Mr. Siama Ababontin ababe clear air. In fact, I think say what he said in this video is very meaningful to call. Omo still na monti ase no mko nkoshipo we dey enti common word this side na afei de ma bi hu so ware nche comment ni mu
Ghana cedis loss for the gold for reserve program. Why did the board not advise you to also bring to an end the gold for reserve program? Because when you compare the losses, this is 3.8 billion, and that is more, I can say, almost twice that of the gold for oil program. In that same vein, I'm just asking, why did the board not advise that you also cancel this?
So the first probably reference is to observe that since we canceled the gold for oil in May last year, we haven't seen a build-up of queues at the pumps. Because one of the objectives for the gold for oil was to support that. And so we believe that the cancellation was worth it. There were quite too many issues under the gold for oil that we needed to unearth. And therefore the board authorized an external audit. We got PPA approval for the audit just about 2 months ago. And so that exercise is underway. In the case of the gold for reserves, as the name suggests, the objective was to help us build reserves. Now, based on the data that NA has provided so far, the evidence is clear that it is not a question of shutting it down, but it's the question of enhancing its efficiency, looking at inefficiencies that you have to take out. And that is why we went after GOLDBOD. I also have a table here I can give to you. You see the reductions that we have brought to bear. Madam Chair, it will interest you to know, for example, that until last year, especially the exports of the small-scale gold sector, we were just lucky nothing happened before 2025. Because there was no insurance component after those consignments land at the destination country. And we had to insist that we needed to protect Ghana, even for that 5% that had to be paid. And so currently everything is paid before the consignment is lifted. Otherwise, there has to be an insurance guarantee. So going forward, let's look at these aspects that we can fix in the interest of the country. And it calls for a unified approach. The external auditors have already been authorized, as I mentioned, by the Bank of Ghana board. The gold for oil is being audited. The gold for reserves will also be audited. When that exercise is over, we are happy to sit with you to look at where there were infractions or not and what to do with it. But the best thing now that will be in the national interest is to look again at the trading model and to, for example, decide, should the Ministry of Finance make a budgetary allocation to take care of the costs, given that this is supporting our reserves build-up? Those are the type of questions we need to agree on.
Governor, as for those questions, they've already been answered. Ministry of Finance allocated $217 million for GOLDBOD operations in the 2025 budget. So as for those questions, they've already been answered.
Sorry
It
to
is
say,
just that when you look in the budget from January to September 2025, nothing was given to them. So that allocation was already in the budget,
I'm
but
sorry.
nothing was given to them. Then
sorry.
Ministry of Finance comes to tell us in the budget that for the end year projection, that's about 4.5 billion Ghana cedis, they are going to utilize it. So if you say that we should now go and find out whether Ministry of Finance should fund it or not, that was already made in the 2025 budget, which Ministry of Finance from January to September did not give a dime to GOLDBOD. So,
if I can explain,
yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Governor.
So you need to
yeah.
differentiate between two things.
Yeah.
There's the trading amount, and then there's also something to take care of the inherent costs.
But Governor, once
If
Ministry
I
of
can
Finance,
finish.
1 minute, one Ministry of Finance gives you the allocation, it is within that framework. You will have to use it per the Public Financial Management Act and then reports. So it is up to you. But once that allocation has been made in the budget, whether it is for this or that, provided you are using it per the Public Financial Management Act, you don't have a problem. And so that was already in there. 217 million US dollars. Ministry of Finance from January to September did not pay a dime according to the budget that was submitted to us in November 2025. And the Ministry of Finance says from September to year end, I am going to utilize the 4.5 billion. That means the 270 has been translated into Ghana cedis, and they are going to utilize the 4.5 billion Ghana cedis. I cannot ask you whether it's been used or not because you don't run the Ministry of Finance budget. But maybe in the mid-year, we will know or we will see, or we can come by way of questions to the Minister for Finance. So that conversation has already been had, and it was in the 2025 budget that Ministry of Finance has allocated 217 million US dollars to them, and it was up to them to utilize the money per the Public Financial Management Act, and they wouldn't have any problem at all.
Madam Chair,
But
I'm trying to explain one thing. There are inherent costs in the trading model. That inherent cost is currently being borne by the Bank of Ghana, not just in 2025, but since the program started. The losses that were incurred on the gold for oil in 2024, it was borne by the Bank of Ghana in 2024. The losses that were incurred in 2024 under the gold for reserves was borne by the Bank of Ghana. And so what I'm saying is that because of the cost involved, it's not enough to just X amount for the gold trade. You have to allocate something to say if there are costs incurred, government will absorb it to this amount. And then that way you free the financials of the Bank of Ghana. Madam Chair, and I'm saying this because the Bank of Ghana, due to what has happened since 2022, remember someone says we are an insolvent central bank. We already have our own issues. We are actually operating at very, I want to use my words carefully. So we are not in a position to shoulder those costs going forward. As we speak, we are having a conversation with the minister to see if they can reimburse us, even for those costs that were passed on to Bank of Ghana since 2024. So going forward, the key thing or the key question is, who takes charge of the costs incurred in that exercise? And if government of Ghana decides to budget for those, because it's a quasi-fiscal activity, and then if we have some further reductions in other aspects of the cost, then we can operate this model going forward. And so maybe you can join us, you can be our advocate to government to ensure that going forward the costs are well budgeted for. And I tell you, we can operate this model efficiently.
Governor, respectfully, previously there was no allocation in the budget for these exercises. But come 2025, there was an allocation for such activities. And when you translate about 4.5 billion, how much of the loss have you made so far. Whether then we can
so
look at
in
it
the
and see whether
budget-
the 4.5 can cover it or not, because per what I know, government budgeted for it with an amount of $270 million in the budget.
So yes, it was in the budget, but the actual cash, got provided in December at the end of the year. So in between, the trade had to be sustained. And hence, that was where Bank of Ghana had to stand in, just as we stood in the earlier years. But our concern is the costs that are involved, especially for 2025, which was mainly because the volumes have increased. Now, the volumes increasing, that in itself is a good thing. What it means is that we are winning against the smugglers. Formerly, all that quantum, the additional quantum, if you take it over the 2024 volumes, all that quantum was probably being smuggled. And the proceeds were not coming back into the
Governor,
country.
as for the quantum, if we say we're going to talk about it now, it's something else altogether, because a lot of Ghanaians believe that the sharp increase in the quantum of gold is commensurate with the increase in the activities of Galamsey. So let's not talk about the quantum. I'm only talking about the efficiency of the program,
Yes,
and the transparency of it as well. Finally, I want to find out from you that 3.8 billion loss that you mentioned. Where can I find it in your financial statements for 2024?
Madam Chair,
Adam, respectfully, you can't do that.
Record. It's important for us to, especially when
check with Paul Blebo. Where can we see it?
Governor, can
Yes.
you please show me where I can find the 3.8 billion loss in your
Madam
financial
Chair,
statements?
we will provide that to the committee.
No, because I have seen the 1.8 billion in your financial statements. I have seen the 1.8 billion stated in your financial statement, but I haven't seen the 3.8. So respectfully, if you can show me exactly where the 3.8 billion Ghana cedis loss has been located.
We will provide that, Madam Chair, respectfully. We will come back to the committee.
Governor, as for your banks, this is for 2024. I'm talking about 2024. It's on the website, but I can't find the loss of 3.8 billion Ghana cedis.
If it is, this is 2024. So you
The
wouldn't find
3.8
it.
you said was in, I have seen the 1.8 stated in your financial statement.
Right.
For the gold for oil program.
But that might be for the 2023.
No, it's
right.
for 2024. Your 2024 financial statement is on your website.
Yes.
So I went there and then I checked. I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the, I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the financial statement, but I'm yet to see the 3.8 billion that you mentioned here in the financial statement.
Yes. So, Madam Chair, can we come back? Madam Chair, I've promised we will come back to provide that clarity. Yes.
Mr. Chair, yes, I want to, this is a issue of records, so I want to clarify some issue and put the record straight. I mean, in reserve at the Bank of Ghana in terms of gold by good initiative by the government doesn't commensurate with the increase in Galamsey activities. Gold's volumes, the trade, doesn't commensurate with the increasing in terms of Galamsey activity, because the government is fighting Galamsey and Galamsey is going down. It is the good initiative to block the loopholes that is leading to the volume that we are talking about. So let's say the record straight.
I think that it's important that we all acknowledge the fact that nobody has made any assertion to the fact that the volumes are as a result of Galamsey. The governor was moving into that realm. Please listen. Please. He was moving there. Then Madam said that let us not get there. Let's not get there. And so please, nobody has made such assertion. And I think it's important that we put on record. But
Governor, you were moving there, and I said respectfully, let's not go there, because people will make, that was what I said, people citizens, it is believed, citizens will make that assertion. But I am interested in the efficiency of the program you are running. That was exactly what I said. Ranking, please, I haven't finished. That was exactly what I said. And so I'm going to go on with...
Madam Chair, we have a policy on responsible mining practices. And so we are assuming...
Instead of what social video ni din yawo with the public account committee, sa lady way Abena Osei Asare no. What's up? Nipa ne kasi ha na by force our person can see her. Oh, kaso monfa gold for reserve under the 2024 the year monfa mra. Or chiro so any document I will change by force on website and so. Some documents be on my understand say you can go on the website and take it. But why were you pressuring him to go for that document and bring it? Nipa ne say oba manfa document number. So by force our person won share and say on website so. Maybe the additional documents are our person can want them. But how will you know? But well, out of the Bank of Ghana governor